reporting for TTN HD Production Live, here with Harvey Myman. What inspired you to get into the business?
Well, I was a newspaper writer and editor and decided I wanted to move into entertainment. The lure of television over features is I like the pace of it. It's just much faster, things happen much more quickly.
Do you find that both rewarding and challenging?
Yes. I like when it's rewarding, but it's certainly challenging. But it's movie projects can, particularly as a producer, which is what I am, can float along forever and sometimes get made. But TV, there's an immediacy to it, and that was a pace I much prefer.
What's your process like?
I, as a non-writing executive producer in television, I work with writers to develop projects that we will take out sometimes as a completed script and sell it as a spec, sometimes off a pitch. And then moving forward, if you sell the script and then if you get to shoot a pilot and then if you get on the air, which is the goal, you produce the show.
How do you get a pilot on the air?
It's a series of hoops. You begin with your project, and I'm bad at holding numbers in my head, but thousands of projects are pitched. We'll talk about broadcast, which are the 5 broadcast networks, but it's no different at a cable level. Thousands and thousands of projects are pitched. About all the broadcast networks maybe buy about 400 or 500 scripts, or fewer actually. And out of that pile, they will shoot a small percentage of them as pilots. So out of the 500 scripts, maybe, and I'm making up all these numbers, maybe they'll shoot 100 pilots, all of them combined. And out of those 100 pilots, a small handful of them will go on the air. Maybe 20 of them could make its way to the air over all the places. I haven't done the math of the recently completed season to see how many actually go on the air. And then of the ones that go on the air, a small percentage survive to the second year, and a tiny percentage survive for several years, which is great.
So what are they doing with all of the projects the scripts that they buy but they're not making? Does that mean that no one else can ever make them?
They own the show for a certain amount of time. They is the network. Okay. They have what are called 2 bites. One is for the first till about April, and the next one tail end of the year, that you can't do anything with it unless they let you. Sometimes they will let you shop it to cable networks, but they won't let you take it to another broadcast. We tried. Okay. We said, can we take this to sell this was Fox, to ABC or NBC? I said no. At some point, I don't know the exact time, it reverts to the writer or the production company, and then you can try and resell it. It's hard to resell stuff. Movies, it's a little easier to resell because things kind of float.
What's been the most rewarding part of your career?
I love working with writers and creative people and actors. So when you make it through all these hoops, the producing is a great deal of fun. It's not unlike being a managing editor of a newspaper again. You just sort of solve all these problems all day long. And hopefully what goes on the air is something people will continue to watch.
What advice would you give to someone following in your footsteps?
This is not a bad time to be entering the profession, in that there's a lot of opportunities and outlets. I think we're just figuring out, you're an online entity. We're just figuring out what that means in terms of an ability and a place where you can sell stories. Whether increasingly people are buying into the notion that people will watch more than 3 and 5 minute shows, that they'll watch a 30-minute show or a 45-minute show, which is what an hour is on television. So it's a good and interesting time. I think I would advise people to be passionate about what they believe in and work real hard and hope when that moment comes and they get their opportunity, they catch a little luck and they take advantage of that moment.
Do you think that young filmmakers should be using the internet and should be making lots of online content?
I think young filmmakers and actors and writers should be pushing on every front they can. Right now, the internet is almost an incubator, that people are doing things there in hopes that they'll be able to sell them elsewhere. But it's all changing. I think when you and I sit down and talk in 5 or 10 years, should we do that?
Yeah.
It will be a different conversation. But the need for content providers, the need for writers and actors and directors and all those things will never go away. It's a question of how it'll be delivered.
And where's the best place to find out more information on you online?
I don't have a website as such, because right now my company is just me, and I've gone back and forth to working with studio deals and not. Now I'm not. So I'm me. I'm Harvey
IMDb?
Myman. Yeah. Oh, it's easy to track me. I'm there.
Yeah. Great.
And I'm teaching a course at Chapman University now, once a year, on entering the profession, actually.
Oh, wonderful.
So I answer those questions.
And what are your goals for the future? Are you going to continue to teach as well as produce?
It's sort of fun on a side thing. This year I sold 2 dramas, which was kind of a new adventure for me, and I liked it, but I'm mainly a comedy guy, half hour. I tend to go where other people are not. I tend not to chase the last hit.
Yeah.
And so I look for fresh ideas that aren't so fresh that nobody knows what to make of them, but are something different.
Well, thank you so much, Harvey, and best of luck with all of your upcoming projects.
Well, thank you.
I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for TTN HD Production Live.